Hey everybody, this is Kromar with TGN, and I'm here today to bring you some more Rift coverage. Today we're looking at the Fall Lantern Hook, which is a level 42 through 44 dungeon. And yes, this is the normal level up version, not the expert version. I'll also be posting the expert version soon, but I had this footage on my hard drive just sitting there waiting, so I decided to go ahead and get this out of the way first. I'm also going to post Charmer's Caldera and Abyssal Precipice normal. I have that footage too. This has been sitting on my hard drive for a while. I'm not even sure what day I recorded this on, but it's a while ago. As you see, I'm not even 50 when I recorded this, and you can also see our healer here, Viperia, is only 41. He's our actually our guild leader, and he's been 50 a while too. So this is clearly a very old footage, but still relevant, perfectly relevant. I mean, the instance hasn't changed or anything. My spec here is Ranger Bard, and I did a whole video on Ranger Bard. And I'm going to do another one that's more geared towards level 50. It's like half Ranger, half Bard. And the concept behind this spec is basically a support and AoE DPS, mainly for trash mobs. It's not as good for bosses necessarily, because the single target DPS is only so-so. But you can just switch to Bard mode pretty much. You can switch to healing instead of DPS, which I'm sure your healer will appreciate the help. Or, of course, you could just switch roles to a more single-target centric spec or to a full Bard for Verse of Joy. But either way, it's a solid spec. It helps people get to the instance faster, which everyone appreciates, and also brings a lot of good support and can heal in a pinch. So anyway, about the Fall Lantern Hook, this is a really fun dungeon. I really like this dungeon because of the story behind it. It's actually really engaging. And we're getting to a boss soon, so I'll have to switch to that. But the story here is that the Fall Lantern Hook, you're actually not, how do I explain this? You're not in a real place, you're in a vision. And what's happened is you've seen a vision of an alternate future. And this is the boss, so I'll come back to the story in a minute. But this is Rorf. He's about to say something. Any minute now.
Kittens were coming to your bones, human.
Yeah, anyway, so this is Rorf. He has a cat pet. Nothing to this fight, really. This is a very simple fight, as most of these level of dungeons are. After doing experts, it really helps me appreciate how simple these things are. But the easiest way to kill him is to just kill the cats first. I think you gain some kind of bonus to his damage once the cat's down, but it doesn't really matter. There's actually a really good strategy for this that we didn't use here, but I'll show you on the expert version because it's actually a little more necessary. Basically, we just kite the cats up the stairs and fight them up there and kill them first, then kill the boss. It's the best way to do it. But anyway, because this is so easy, we're not even worried about it. As you can see, we're just totally destroying them. And it's going to be like that for all the bosses here. We're a bit over-leveled. The level here is 42 through 44. And as you can see, I'm 46. And our healer is under-leveled. But honestly, Viperia healed, like, I think it was Abyssal Precipice at level 42, and that's a level 50 dungeon. So, obviously, when you're doing a level-up dungeon, your level of your healer is really not that important. It can be low level, mainly just because clerics are so overpowered. It wouldn't work with a Chloromancer though, because the Chloromancer actually has to hit the enemies, and level 42 won't be able to hit something that's 6 levels higher. There's no way. But anyway, we're 8 level. I think it's level 50 or 48. I can't remember, but we'll see that when I dredge that footage out of the archives on my hard drive here and get that updated. But anyway, so no, we didn't kill the cat first. We killed the boss first. No, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, it's so easy here. You can do whatever you want. But back to trash. So this trash here is different depending on if you're Guardian or Defiant. If you're Guardian, you fight these guys and you fight the Faceless Man. He's actually a Defiant NPC. If you've done the Defiant starting zone, you recognize him. Or if you play Defiant at all, you recognize him because he's actually in Meridian also. But the story here is that he apparently, I guess he betrayed the Guardians, even though they're not allied. But he betrayed them in the sense that he worked against them. I don't know how to explain it. It's like he worked against them for the fire guys, and in order to try to summon the plane of water, and hoping the plane of water would defeat the plane of fire. That's the way I understand it, but I'm not 100% on that. But if you play as Defiant, instead you get a different NPC. You get Brother Jabaya, I believe is his name, and Brother Jabaya is like the exact same role, I think. He's like a betrayer, and you get to kill him. But that's my understanding of those guys. But I was talking about the story earlier. This is a vision of an alternate future. Now, if you play the Defiant Starting Zone, that takes place in what they call Terminus, which is the last remaining bastion of humanity, which the Defiants are guarding, and they send you back in a teleporter to change the future. And this is just an alternate future. And I'm not sure...
Dare challenge me. You will burn in the fire of Maelforge.
Right. Anyway, I'll get back to the story again. It'll give me plenty to talk about in between the bosses. But anyway, so the boss here is the Ember Lord, what's his face, Pyromancer, what's his face, or yeah, Pyromancer something, Cordelard, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this starts out like Kel'Thuzad and Nax if you played WoW, and basically he just sits back and doesn't do anything, and he summons ads. Ads are really weak. We're just, you know, owning them. Pretty simple. And once the ads go down, he summons, and he's very easy. He's not challenging at all. Of course, that's the way it should be in a level-up dungeon. You don't want your level-up dungeons to be hard. You want people who aren't, you know, who are still learning their class or who aren't necessarily up to the date on their gear. You want them to be able to still cruise through it. It's the expert dungeons where you want the challenge. But honestly, this guy isn't hard on expert either. But these first ads that come out, these are really trivial. So since this is easy, I'm going to go back to talking about the story. So if you're playing as Guardian, there's an NPC...
I shall burn myself.
Yeah. So he's come out now. But anyway, there's an NPC in Sanctum called Poor Tom, and he's like cursed, and he sees all alternate futures. And so he sees all these different versions of the apocalypse, pretty much. So I guess he sees the death version, which is the version you see as Defiant in Starting Zone. But he also sees this version, which is the fire version. What's happened is the cultists in Shimmersand have succeeded in summoning Maelforge, and he's, you know, gone across the land. So here, Maelforge is the big bad guy instead of Regulos, which is interesting, because if you don't pay too much attention to the storyline, you keep hearing Regulos, and you know, oh, he's the big bad guy, and that's the end of it. But the truth is, he's only one of the big bad guys. If you look at the story from a wider perspective, there's like a crap load of big bad guys you have to worry about. And yeah, don't stand in the fire. That's the only tip I have for this fight. Anyway, so he's only one of the big bad guys, and Maelforge is a different one. And this is the future if Maelforge is unleashed and wins. So I mean, it's a pretty bleak storyline. I mean, we're pretty much fucked no matter what happens. We're gonna have Regulos on our ass, or we're gonna have Maelforge, or Greenscale. He's the life guy, or we're gonna have the water or air guys. I don't even know their names, so it could be anybody. But the point is, we're pretty much fucked, and and that's what the Ascended, that's what your player is there for, is to save Talara from all these guys at once. And so the Fall of Lantern Hook is set here because Lantern Hook is apparently the last bastion of...
The world is my fire. May I burn bright in the ashes.
Yep. So apparently Lantern Hook is like the last bastion of humanity, and it's the last place to fall in this version of the future, whereas Free March, aka Terminus or Last Light, was the last place to fall in the other possible future, where Regulos invades. So yeah, that's the story of Lantern Hook, the Fall of Lantern Hook. So it's very cool. I like it. We're just doing a little bit of chicken dancing here. I think I meant to edit that out. I don't know, but I should put that at the end in full speed. But anyway, so we moving along here. Let's talk about this trash. There's on this platform here, there's a bunch of portals, and each portal has one of these Archfiend guys standing in front of it. And when you aggro them, it's just summon some ads. Really nothing special, but it does give you this extra quest giver here, who sends you on to the last section. The last section is actually a lot more complicated on the expert version, as most of these dungeons are. So, but here it's just a quest that sends you to the end. It's not a big deal. Yep, another portal down. Once the portals are down, we can move on. And we're almost at the last boss. We're damn close to it. Yeah, here he is up here. Ember Lord Iritu. And he's going to have something to say in just a moment here, too.
Bear witness to the new dawn. Travel
So anyway, the point of this boss, he basically summons these crystals on the ground, right? Each crystal pulses an AoE, and it kind of reminds me of the Infernals in the Prince Malchezaar event in Karazhan from Burning Crusade. If you played, if you're old school WoW like that, and you actually remember that. But basically, you just gotta not stand in the crystals, and you'll be fine. And there's nothing else to it really. So if he spawns one in front of the tank's gotta move him, and that's pretty much exactly the same as Prince Malchezaar. When the Infernal spawns near the tank's gotta move him. So the difference is though that this is super forgiving and easy, and he has hardly any health, and there's not that much damage on the tank. There's no heavy DPS phase. There's no phase 2 on Prince. There's no equivalent to that. So it's like an easy mode version. Otherwise, same deal. Spread out. Don't stand in the fire, and he goes down no problem. And he's not that much harder on Expert either. You'll see that in the Expert video. He goes down without much of an issue at all. But even with my spec not being really that great for single target, it doesn't really matter. You see I'm busting out some heals there. Because why not? Oh, there's an example of the crystals going straight on the tank. Glad we saw that. As you see, you just run out of it. No problem. Very easy.
There is no dusk. The fires will rage until all is set.
Run! Maelforge is coming! I couldn't save them. Everyone fell to the fire. Now you're all that is left of Talara, and Maelforge is coming to consume you as well. Why didn't you save us?
Damn, no pressure. There's one more thing, I think. Poor Tom.
The vision is complete. It is time for you to return home.
Yep, well, that's it for the Fall of Lantern Hook normal mode, level 42 through 44. Easy dungeon, nice source of experience and loot. Highly recommend everyone do it at least once, but it's a great way to level once you get to your low to mid 40s. But anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. This is Crowmar with TGN.